Hello everybody, I'm Tim Blair, and it's time for the March 27th, 2013 edition of the Weekly Web Update for the Clay County Times-Democrat, brought to you each week by Piggott State Bank, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender. Well, this week we come to you from the Clay County Fairgrounds here on the north edge of Piggott. Actually, last week's webcast originated just right over there by Mr. Galleon's house, who, by the way, informed me that his Purple Martin houses, the latest the Purple Martins have come in all the years that he's had them up. So that's another indication about the weather. Of course, last Thursday we recorded the webcast. That evening we got anywhere from 3 to 5 inches of snowfall across northeast Arkansas. And at the conclusion of this week's webcast, I'll let you know how it looked around my house last Friday morning with a few shots of that snow. Well, of course, we also talked last week about Easter weekend coming up this weekend. And, of course, across the way, one of the two locations around, they'll be having big community Easter egg hunts. The First Baptist Church in Rector, they'll be having theirs from 10 to noon on Saturday, and also Emmanuel Baptist Church right across the way here. They also have their activities scheduled from 10 until noon or so on Saturday, the 30th for Easter, and the big Easter egg hunt scheduled over there. Of course, that all will be weather permitting as we have more rain in the forecast, but there are also other activities going on, including sunrise services at 6:30 a.m. on Easter Sunday at the amphitheater out at Heritage Park in Piggott. That is hosted by the First Methodist Church of Piggott, and of course those services will be held indoors if the weather doesn't cooperate. Now, next weekend, Saturday, April 6th, this will be one of the hotbeds of activities around the area as they're preparing for the annual Piggott FFA farm equipment auction. Colonel Gary McGee and the McGee Auction Company, they're checking in equipment already this week. They'll be checking in stuff all next week. They normally have this just completely full. It goes on all day, gets underway, I believe, at 9 a.m. on Saturday, April the 6th, here at the fairgrounds in Piggott, the big FFA auction. Also, the citywide yard sale will be going on that day as well around Piggott. That will also include an indoor yard sale at the Piggott Community Center. Now, the Piggott Area Chamber of Commerce, they're going to have lists of the locations that are cooperating. They've turned in their locations for that citywide yard sale. You can pick up copies of that beginning next Friday the 5th at the chamber office, or all day on Saturday. You can pick those up at the Community Center on the south edge of town, at Country Mart right over here on the Highway 49, at the Piggott Diner down on the square, or Vintage Palooza there on the southwest corner of the Piggott Square. Well, taking a look at what's going on in this week's printed online editions, the March 27th edition of the Clay County Times-Democrat, Ryan Rogers has a story on the historic Crockett building that was demolished last week in Rector. A little bit of history on that, and on Bert Sigsby, the man who built that building back in the day. Of course, we've also got a story on the gospel concert that was held last week right over at the Emmanuel Baptist Church to benefit the Clay County Relay for Life. They had a good turnout and generated about $1,500 for the fight against cancer, and a big thumbs up to everybody that took part or that attended that event. We also have a story on special recognition that was bestowed on Piggott Community Hospital recently, and Marie Hillier, she has a very special article on Sue Johnson, a former nurse that is using the story of her battle with cancer to help future nurses and future healthcare professionals. Ryan also has a feature on the Rector Garden Club and their efforts, and we preview a visit from the Bits and Pieces Puppet Theater Group. That'll be sponsored by the Clay County Arts Council. They're coming to the Rector Community Center April 19th. And also in sports this week, we've got a really nice little feature on Ethan Murray. And Ethan has joined the ranks of the high school rodeo circuit. He and his partner from up in Harville, Missouri, they team rope. And we've got a story on that as well. That and a lot more in the printed online editions. You can check it all out in the print edition of the paper available. Also, this week's print edition includes our annual farming section, and a lot of great information and stories in that as well. And we'd also like to remind you the Delta Voice is out. That's available on racks all across the region, and you can sign up for a possibility to win $300 in that. And, of course, the new Crossroads is out as well, and those are going pretty quickly, so you want to pick up one of those as soon as possible while you still have the chance. And with that, we wrap up another edition of the Clay County Times Democrat Weekly Web Update for the week of March 27, 2013. Again, we're going to leave you some scenes of the snow that we had last week, the spring snow here in the Pickett area. And until next time, I'm Tim Blair for the Clay County Times Democrat and cctimesdemocrat.com.